Hey guys, and welcome back to my kitchen. In case it's the first time you're stopping by, my name is Gina and I am a wife and mother from the Midwest, and I like to cook fresh meals for my family pretty much every day, and sometimes I film videos of the recipes and post them here on YouTube. So today is one of those days, and we are going to be making a recipe which is just absolutely perfect for fall or winter. It doesn't really have a title. I just call it Asima stuffed peppers because my beautiful and talented friend Asima gave me this recipe. It is a recipe for delicious Bosnian stuffed peppers. And I guess without further ado, we'll jump into the ingredients because I don't know too much of the backstory on it because this recipe was passed to me by my lovely friend. So we are going to be using today, I call these gypsy peppers. I don't know if that's really what they're called, but these are not green peppers or yellow peppers. These are a waxy looking type of pepper found usually at the end of summer-ish in your larger supermarkets. So I've never seen these at like a Jewel Osco in our area, but I usually find them at like Pete's Market or Tony's or someplace like that, a place that has a larger vegetable and fruit selection. So today we're going to be using 6 of them. And they're rather small, so a serving size is generally about 2 of these if you're going to eat it as a main dish. But this does go really well with like grilled meats or basically any type of meat in general as a side dish, which obviously then it would just be 1 pepper. So we have 6 of the gypsy peppers, and those have just been washed. I have 4 just standard Idaho Baker potatoes, which I will also wash and peel and cut into small cubes because we'll be stuffing them into the potatoes after we core them. And then the rest of this stuff is just super simple, humble ingredients, which I forgot to put out. I'm on my video, honey. 1 second. I forgot to put out the cornstarch. So we're going to be using cornstarch inside of the potatoes to thicken up any juices that bake off. The seasoning we're going to be using is Vegeta, which if you're not familiar with it, this is a very popular seasoning in the Balkan region. So like Albanian people, Bosnian, I don't know, I just know of Albanians and Bosnians personally who use it, but I'm sure there's other countries in the area who use it. And it's basically like a different flavored seasoned salt kind of that has like dehydrated vegetables in it. So this is very important because this gives it the authentic flavor. And then I'm going to be using a little bit of Himalayan pink salt, a little bit of black pepper, some good olive oil, and then lastly, to finish it all off, we're going to be using this whole package of heavy whipping cream, which will be poured over the peppers after they've baked off and they're all roasty and toasty and soft and the potatoes are tender on the inside, and then we're just going to put cream all over it and it's going to be awesome. So pardon my excitement. This is definitely my kind of a dish. And tomorrow I am starting a round of P90X3 and I will be going on a diet. So we will be seeing some healthier recipes. So I'm going to enjoy the shit out of these peppers. So let me go ahead and get our prep done. I'm just going to go ahead and core the peppers and then clean them out and then discard the tops. We don't need them. And then wash and peel and cube the potatoes. And I will be back. Okay, so I have completed the first 2 steps. I have washed and cored our peppers. So you just go ahead and I try to stick the knife in on an angle, so that way you don't cut the outside walls of the pepper, and you're just removing the core, and then you take a spoon and stick it inside of there and scrape out any rims. And I mean, if there's 1 or 2 pepper seeds in there, like, don't die over it or anything. Nobody ever died from eating a pepper seed. I mean, people eat red pepper flakes, you know what I mean? Like, that's literally the seed. So I'm using this Wilton pan that is made of metal, and it could probably actually hold an extra pepper, but it holds 6 nicely. And it's actually kind of nice that there's some space in the bottom because, as I mentioned, we are going to be pouring over heavy cream, and then we're going to slide it back in the oven at the end of the cooking time, so that way the cream will thicken on its own and make a nice velvety sauce. So it's nice that there's a little bit of space for it to kind of mingle in there and do its thing, because if everything's too crowded, it's just going to take too long for the cream to thicken. So I'm going to go ahead and preheat my oven to 400. And then we're going to talk about our potatoes. So I went ahead and washed them and then peeled them, and then this should have been cut in two, but whatever. Cut them into small cubes. And as you can see, these peppers are not huge. These are probably about the size of the palm of your hand. So you don't want to have huge chunks of potato to stuff them with. You want to make sure that it's workable. So I have cubes that are about this size, and I would say they're probably about, I don't know, centimeter. Is that a half of an inch cubes? Little tiny cubes. So go ahead and cut them up. And I mean, they don't have to be exactly perfect. There's always a couple that sneak through that are funky or a little bit bigger. But then after those are all chopped up, go ahead and throw them in a colander and then rinse off all of the extra starch. That is the first step. You could throw a little bit of olive oil in the bottom of this pan, just so it doesn't stick. So let's see if I can open this olive oil. Just a little dash, and I'm just going to kind of swirl that around. Sorry, one-handed cooking is a little bit harder than I can explain to you guys. There we go. And then we'll go ahead and stack our peppers back in there. And set that to the side. And then I've got a nice big bowl here, and this may or may not be too much potatoes, but it's better to have extra filling than not to have enough. So we're going to dump our drained and rinsed potatoes into the bowl, and then back with our olive oil, we're just going to give it a nice little drizzle. And for the 4 potatoes, I'd say it's probably about a tablespoon and a half. This is a recipe that I was given via Instagram from my friend, and it's the very European way of cooking, which doesn't have measurements. It's kind of like just add this and add that. So I'm just going to guess and say about a tablespoon and a half of olive oil. And then we are going to take about a tablespoon of cornstarch, big whopping one, and sprinkle this over. And then this is going to work as a thickening agent to kind of bind everything together. And I'm actually going to use maybe 2 of them because it didn't look like enough. So we're going to kind of make sure that the top is lightly covered, and then we'll mix it up, obviously. But it's going to tighten up all of those juices that come out from the potatoes and then from the peppers and make a nice little sauce for us. And then this is what Vegeta looks like, in case you guys haven't ever seen it. So it just looks like a chunky kind of chicken bouillon type dealy, but I believe it's a vegetable-based product, hence it's called Vegeta and not like chigetta or beefetta. So we're gonna start with 1 and 2 tablespoons of that, and then I will mix this all up and then just give a piece a little bit of a taste and see if it needs any salt or extra Vegeta. And then I'm just gonna sprinkle over a little bit of black pepper, which is my addition. She didn't mention that in the recipe before, but I just feel like everything needs a little pepper. So I need to, unfortunately, plug my phone into the charger. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on pause for a second. I went ahead and mixed up our mixture, and this is what it looks like. So it all will kind of take on like a yellowish tint because of the Vegeta has a little bit of a yellowish color to it. And I went ahead and tasted this, and it's actually fine. So I actually did not add any salt to it. What, honey? You need socks? I'll get you some in 1 second. Oh, a snack? 1 second. So I actually did not end up adding any of the Himalayan pink salt to it. So I will just relist how much of the stuff I put in here. So about a tablespoon and a half of olive oil, about 2 heaping tablespoons of cornstarch, 2 tablespoons of Vegeta, and then I'd probably say about half of a teaspoon of black pepper. So I'm going to go ahead and get this stuffed into our peppers, and I will be back to show you what it looks like before I put it in the oven. I have stuffed my peppers, and I've got them laid in here, looking all cutie wooty. So as you can see, I didn't like totally pack them in there, and the reason for that is that we're going to drizzle all that delicious heavy cream on it, and I want it there to kind of be like a little room for it to get all up in their grill, and kind of milly with the delicious potatoes that are inside of there. And then obviously there's going to be some that's around the side as well. So I mean, if you wanted to, you could fill them fuller than that, and I did end up with some extra potatoes. So I mean, you know, you could totally stuff a little bit extra in there, but this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that these are kind of at the level of the pan and not sticking up because I'm going to wrap it with foil nice and tight, and then we're going to pop it in the oven for probably about 35 minutes, and then I'm going to check on them. Depending on the size of your peppers and how large you cut your potatoes, this could take up to an hour and a half depending on, you know, the size of your stuff. So we're going to check it at 35-40 minutes and see if the potatoes are tender, and I will be back at that time. Okay guys, I checked these peppers at 400 degrees after 35 minutes, and they were not quite tender. And when I say they, I mean the potatoes and the center pepper. So I put it in for another 15 minutes, so that's a total of 50 minutes that I baked these at 400, and now the potatoes are nice and fork tender. And obviously the peppers are nice and they're starting to brown a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on pause and grab out the heavy cream, and we're going to dump it on and then pop it back in uncovered and let that cream get nice and thick. And I'm just getting really excited about this, guys. This is so, so good. All right, so I've just opened the cream. As you can see, I haven't added anything to it. I'm just going to start drizzling.
I'll watch you.
You can watch me from right there, honey. Want to make sure that it gets inside.
Mama, I want it too. I want it too.
Hang on. We're back. All right, we've got Miss Olivia with her hair all crazy. Fifi, please get out of the refrigerator. And then I actually stood up the peppers a little bit better because we do want the cream to like get inside of there as well. Yeah, don't touch the oven, please.
Baby milk in there.
All right, and then this probably could have been a little wider of a dish. Come on, don't touch the oven. I'm freaking out about that. Sorry, guys. I'm going to go ahead and pop this back in the oven. I need to get these children away from this oven because it is hot and it's freaking me out. I'm going to set the timer for 10 minutes, and then I'll check and see how the cream has gotten. Okay, I ended up doing a total of 15 minutes on this, and I don't know if you can tell from the picture and the video that the cream has like a skin on it because it was boiling, and oh man, look at that. Look at those potatoes sitting in that cream sauce inside of there, thickened up nicely. We've got some nice browning on the edges. I'm going to go ahead and let this sit out for about 5 minutes to cool before I plate them up, and we'll be back with maybe a tasting video. Daniel's not home yet. I don't know if he's coming home on time or what, but either way, I'll show you what it looks like plated up. All right, friends. Look at this creamy, delicious pile of stuffed potato peppers. My children are being so annoying today. I don't even know how to handle it. Like, they've been naughty all day, all day. Anyways, so this is what it looks like. We're having it with a little bit of a side salad right here. And then my husband did come home.
It's really good.
Do you like it? He makes everything into a taco because he's a Mexican.
100%.
All right. All right, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching this video. And a special thanks to my friend Asima, who shared this wonderful recipe with us. I can't wait to dig into these peppers. If you like this video, go ahead and throw me a thumbs up. And if you loved it, I'd appreciate it if you would consider subscribing to my channel. I'm going to pop a couple of other videos up over here that you can take a look at if you're interested. And thanks for stopping by. Have a great day.
Bye. Have a good day.